The galactic combat arena fell silent as Mia stepped into the crimson-lit ring. Her small frame, barely 5.5 feet tall, drew scattered laughter from the crowd of alien spectators. The Vraxian announcer's mandibles clicked in amusement as he broadcast her species designation across the stadium. From the quarantined Deathworld Terra, a human female. Kevin watched from the medical bay's viewing screen, his jaw clenched. He tried to stop her from entering the tournament, but Mia had that look in her eyes, the same one she'd had when their colony ship crashed on Epsilon Prime, when she dragged him through 3 miles of hostile terrain with a broken leg. "She's going to get herself killed," muttered Dr. Ziloth, the station's Centaurian physician. His 6 eyes tracked Mia's movements with clinical detachment. Humans shouldn't even be allowed in these tournaments. Their bone density, their reaction time, it's all substandard compared to proper warrior species. Kevin said nothing. He knew better. Mia's first opponent materialized across the ring, a corral warrior. 8 feet of chitinous armor and blade-tipped limbs. The creature had won 47 consecutive matches. Betting screens showed odds of 500 to 1 against the human. The buzzer sounded. The corral lunged with the speed that had made his species legendary, his bladed arms whistling through the air where Mia's head had been a microsecond before. But she wasn't there. She dropped into a roll, her body moving with a fluidity that seemed to confuse the arena's tracking sensors. "Impossible," Dr. Ziloth breathed. "She's moving during his attack frames. The neural lag alone should." His words cut off as Mia's leg swept out, catching the corral's ankle joint at the precise moment of weight transfer. The warrior crashed down, and before he could recover, Mia's elbow struck the soft neural cluster behind his cranial plate. The corral went limp. Match time. For seconds, the crowd's laughter died. Kevin allowed himself a small smile. "Beginner's luck," someone in the medical bay muttered. Her second opponent was a Dravenite shock trooper, a species bred for aggression, with redundant organ systems and pain receptors that could be voluntarily shut down. He charged like a battering ram. Mia didn't dodge. She stepped forward, inside his guard, and Kevin saw the Dravenite's eyes widen in the split second before her palm strike crushed his solar plexus. As the alien's body tried to compensate, Mia's follow-up strikes hit 3 more critical junctions in rapid succession. The Dravenite folded. Match time, 7 seconds. By the 5th match, the crowd had stopped laughing. By the 10th, they'd stopped cheering. An eerie silence filled the arena as Mia faced her 15th opponent, a Thagoran prelate, a species whose combat doctrine had conquered 17 star systems. "How is she doing this?" Dr. Ziloth's voice had lost its condescension. "Our scans show she's operating at oxygen debt levels that should cause cognitive impairment. Her muscle tissue is tearing with every engagement. She should be dying." Kevin finished. "Yeah, we do that a lot. We just don't stop." The prelate attacked with energy whips that could slice through starship hull plating. Mia moved between the strikes like water flowing through rocks, her body reading the electromagnetic signatures milliseconds before the whips manifested. She closed the distance, and her hands found the prelate's primary neural stem. Match time, 3 seconds. The tournament officials called an emergency recess. In the viewing bay, Kevin watched the alien physicians examine Mia's medical scans with growing horror. "Her cortisol levels are beyond fatal thresholds," one physician reported. "Lactic acid buildup should have caused complete muscle failure," said another. "Her pain receptors are firing across 90% of her body," a third added, his voice trembling. "She should be unconscious from neural overload." Kevin knew what they were seeing. Humans didn't evolve on a garden world where the biggest threat was a territorial dispute. They evolved on a planet that tried to kill them every single day, where the atmosphere itself was mildly corrosive, where the microbial life was so aggressive that their immune systems fought a constant war, where predators hunted them and natural disasters could strike without warning. Evolution didn't make humans the strongest or the fastest. It made them the most stubbornly, relentlessly, impossibly resilient. Mia returned to the ring. Her 23rd opponent was a Kalish Prime warrior 12 feet of genetically enhanced muscle and rage. He'd killed 6 opponents in previous tournaments, despite the supposed safety protocols. The Kalish roared his species' battle cry and charged. Mia waited. Kevin could see it now, the way she cataloged every movement, every weight shift, every telegraph. The Kalish's fist, capable of denting battle armor, thundered toward her skull. She caught it. The arena's structural sensors registered the impact enough force to crack foundation blocks. Nia's feet slid back to inches. Her bones creaked. Her muscles screamed. She held. The Kalish's eyes widened. In that moment of shock, Nia struck upward, her fist connecting with the nerve cluster beneath his jaw. The giant warrior's knees buckled. Match time, 2 seconds. By match 37, the betting pools had collapsed. By match 45, Galactic News Network was broadcasting live across 17 sectors. The question wasn't whether the human would win, it was how she was still standing. Kevin watched Mia face her final opponent, the tournament champion, an apex predator from Nexus 7, undefeated in 300 matches across 5 years. She can't win this one, Dr. Ziloth whispered. The medical data shows she's operating on willpower alone. Her body is shutting down. Kevin leaned forward. You still don't get it, do you? You think willpower is some abstract concept for humans. It's a weapon. The final match lasted 47 seconds. When it ended, Mia stood alone in the ring, swaying slightly, while the champion of Nexus 7 lay unconscious at her feet. The crowd sat in stunned silence. Kevin made his way to the ring as medics rushed to attend to Mia. She looked up at him, her face pale, her body trembling. Told you I'd win, she managed, before collapsing into his arms. Later, as alien physicians worked frantically to stabilize her, Kevin overheard their whispered conversations. Impossible physiology. Shouldn't have survived. What kind of Deathworld produces this? Kevin looked down at Mia's unconscious form, at the warriors from 100 different species who had come to pay their respects to the human who had defeated them all. The kind, he said quietly, that doesn't give you a choice about being strong. 3 days later, the Galactic Combat Commission officially banned humans from future tournaments. The stated reason, unfair biological advantages due to Deathworld origin. Mia laughed when she heard. She was still in the medical bay, still recovering, still alive despite every prediction. They're afraid, Kevin said, sitting beside her bed. Good, Mia replied, her eyes gleaming with that familiar fire. Maybe now they'll stop underestimating us. Outside the medical bay, across 17 sectors of galactic civilization, the phrase spread like wildfire. Never fight a human. They come from a world that tried to kill them every day. They won. And in the combat arenas, in the military academies, in the strategic planning rooms of 1,000 alien civilizations, they were still counting the bodies of warriors who had learned that lesson too late. END